Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video I'm going to give you some tips about how you can deal against Laura or how you can play against Laura. And Laura is a character that is very strong on offense. She is an offensive powerhouse and many people are having issues with this character. The natural human tendency that you will have when you're playing against Laura is that you will want to stay away from her, right? She's a big scary woman. She will come and totally destroy you if she gets in once. Happens all the time. So what you want to do, what you naturally want to do, is to fight Laura from a distance. You will try to back off and fight her from like far range or even full screen. And that is the biggest mistake you could do actually. The thing about Laura is she will use her fireballs like that to gain some space. And the more you are walking back, the more you are staying away from her, the easier it will be for her to cover that distance. She will charge them, use them as a shield in front of her and close that distance to you, and you're pushing yourself to the corner. So this is an absolute no-no. You shouldn't do that. What you want to do against Laura is to fight her from this distance. You want to fight her from a distance where you can actually do something about her fireballs. So for example, if I'm fighting her from this distance, I can maybe sweep her, I can heavy kick, jump in, maybe do the IV skill. I have other options. If I'm fighting her full screen like that, there is not much I can do about this. She will release her fireballs, and now I will be scared of them. I will try to backdash or jump back, and she already got closer to me and moved me to the corner. This is not what you want to do. You want to be close enough to do something about her fireballs, just like I'm doing here. So this is the very first thing. The thing that you have to understand though is that if you hit Laura out of the fireball, if you hit her at all, the fireball will disappear. So you'll have to know your spacing and which moves are best suited to actually achieve this mission from the different spacing. This is a key part of the Laura matchup. You have to know which moves you can use to fight her and get rid of the fireball, right? But again, it's all about being in the range that will allow you to do so, which is typically the round start range. This is a perfect range to fight against Laura. Now, if I am staying at this range, what are her options? What will she do? One thing many Laura players do is that they will actually backdash and try to do this. And what I should do is maintain the same range. She's moving backward, I will move forward and I will chase her, right? And I will stop her from charging that fireball and trying to get some momentum. So this is very common. I'm sure we all seen it a ton. Try to make sure that you are in a distance where you can do something about the fireball. If I am fighting from this same distance, her other options are the forward heavy punch, for example, but this is easily whiff punishable. You can whiff punish this into many things. This move has a ton of recovery on whiff, so you can actually whiff punish this with relative ease. Her other options will be to jump. Of course, you should be able to anti-air that. Laura doesn't have ways to change her jump and arc, so she's not like Mika who can do the splash and change her jump arc. Her jump ins are pretty annoying, but if your anti-airs are solid, you can absolutely deal with that. And again, this entire match is about being able to keep Laura out. And to keep her out, you have to be in range where you can do something about her fireballs. The last thing you want to do is to have her put a fireball out and you are backdashing or jumping back to get away from her, because you will let her close the distance and corner you. And now that we had some idea about what we want to do in the neutral versus Laura, let's talk about her defending against Laura. Let's talk about how you can defend against Laura, because this is gonna be the biggest part about how you play against this character. You have to understand her Oki, you have to understand the mix-up situation she will put you in, and how you can deal versus them, and your options. So one of the most common knockdowns that will happen against Laura is the command grab knockdown. After a command grab, Laura is plus 14. Plus 14 means that she doesn't get a dash after a command grab. But what many Laura players will do is they will do a light punch elbow. And this light punch elbow is interesting because depending on her timing, she could either be -2 or up to neutral on block. This can't be plus anymore, but it can be neutral. So for example, if I block this as Karen, this version in particular was -2, I can mash my 3 frame, and you know what, I might get a counter hit conversion here. so this is alright. Now this one is the best case scenario for Laura. With this one she's gonna be neutral on block. And this is interesting because if you have a 3 frame, you can just mash your 3 frame here and you will trade, which is not too bad because we reset the neutral, right? But what if you don't have a 3 frame? Let's assume that Karen doesn't have a 3 frame. What you can do here is one of many things. You can block the light punch elbow and then try to backdash, but you will be air reset by her jab, which is not the end of the world. You know, at least you're kinda out. The other options that you can do is you might try to V-reversal the light punch elbow. And this is kinda guaranteed. If you V-reversal here, she will not be able to block this and you will get her off of you and reset the neutral, which might be good depending on your character, right? So if you have a 3 frame, always match your 3 frame. If you don't have a 3 frame, you can take a chance. Like for example here, I will try to do my standing light punch, which is 4 frames. I took a chance and she didn't time it perfectly, so she got hit. Or you might try to V-reversal. These are the options that you have, or of course you can backdash. The same also applies for her forward throw actually. This is the same case. She can also time it to be neutral, where you can just mash your 3 frame after. You can try to backdash. You can try to V-reversal. It's the same exact situation. There is a little bit more pushback here, so even the air reset after the backdash is even a little bit better here, honestly. So these are not too bad of situations. The other really important ones that you have to know is if she tried to dash forward after a command grab. When she dash forward after a command grab, Laura is -3. So if you have a 3 frame, you can actually punish this. This is actually legitimate punish. She didn't even get counter hit because now I delayed it a little bit and it was a counter hit. But if you time it perfectly right, you can actually punish her. This is a little bit dangerous because you have to react to the dash. If you just try to react to a forward movement, something like this might happen. Yeah, she will just walk forward and then tag you with standing heavy punch. It is very risky. It is a very hard situation to be in. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Being command grabbed by Laura is dangerous because it requires you to react to many things at the same time, which is very, very difficult. But I wanted to let you know what are your options if you happen to deal with any of them, right? It's still a really hard situation, but it's not a total guess situation, right? There are options like the dash, which are reactable, and the light punch elbow, which is kind of free out if you have a 3 frame, and if you don't, you can use your V-reversal, or try to backdash, or maybe challenge and hope that she didn't time it perfectly. So let's discuss some of Laura's common block strings, some of the common sequences that she does, and how you are supposed to defend against them, what are your options and all of that. And let's start with one of her most commonly used block strings, and it is this one. Standing light kick, standing medium punch, crouching medium punch. This is a very tight frame trap. If I try to interrupt at any point, I will get hit, and overall it's a very strong frame trap. What you can do, and this is general to the game honestly and to a good extent against Laura, is after the second hit or so, you can usually backdash. If there is some separation here, you can usually backdash, and the backdash will not be interrupted typically because the normals are either too short or too slow to hit you out of the backdash. So backdashing out of this particular string is very, very good. Now the second thing that you have to be aware of is this sequence: the crouching light kick into crouching light punch into standing light kick, crouching light punch. This is good because if I try to walk back after the standing light kick, she can catch you and then she can combo into the light punch elbow. In this sequence, I'm having her confirm that this got blocked and cancel into the light fireball or the heavy fireball, I believe. Again, just like we typically said, if you can challenge the fireball, you can hit her out of it or hit her from underneath it, and the fireball will dissipate. So this is one of the things that you have to be aware of. Again, in block strings, typically crouching light kicks are really, really good if she is doing fireballs in block strings. So for some stuff like that, the crouching light kicks overall are very, very good at dealing with that. Another very popular thing that you have to be aware of is this standing heavy punch into EX fireball. This of course is plus on block, so when she does that she will be plus 3, then she can command grab you or go for another block strings. This is something that's very common. All Laura players on all level will do this. And this is good because if you try to jump or if you try to challenge or if you try to do anything after the standing heavy punch, typically you're gonna get hit by the EX fireball. One of your main options here are gonna be V reversals. V reversals are very good versus that, but again it's a guess because if she doesn't cancel anything out of the standing heavy punch, she is safe. If you have a read that this is coming, of course you can backdash the standing heavy punch, but this is risky. You might get crush counter depending on the distance. And you also can, if you have a read, you can go for invincibility, so something like a super EXDB if you have it. Cody can sway this like you have seen, so he can get a sway here if you time it right and get a punish. But again, these are all very read based. Standing heavy punch into EX thunderclap or the EX fireball is a very good situation. It's a very good mix up. It's a very good pressure tool for Laura. But if you have the read, you have options. V reversal, use invincibility, or individual character options like Cody's sway for example. All of these are pretty good against that if you have the read. Now, another thing Laura do a lot is the command dash, and she can command dash out of any normal. This is more about reacting than anything else. Sadly, there's not much I can say here. You wanna react to this, and she can mix it up by a lot. They are all unsafe by the way, so she cannot do any command dash mix-ups that are safe. Just have your jab punishes be ready and hope for the best, because this is honestly just about reacting. This is just a reaction thing, because even if you backdash like you've seen here, I try to backdash, I might still get command grabbed. So jabbing or just trying to punish it on reaction is the best things that you can do. Not much else for that. And it's also the same for the overhead, because of course Laura can cancel into the overhead at any time, and the overhead is a very direct counter to you trying to backdash. So many Laura players will do that. You try to backdash and then you get crush countered. You can actually interrupt this typically, but this is very strong if you spamming backdashes. Of course the overhead is punishable. You can full combo punisher if you blocked it. And one thing that you have to understand, she does a very specific voice line. The eho voice line, eho, what she said when she's doing it, it comes out very early. So for me personally, the audio cue is my way of reacting to this move. I hear it before I can see it, if that makes sense. If you can get used to this voice line, you will find some decent time being able to react to this and punishing it. Overall, Laura of course have very strong pressure. Like we just seen, all of these requires you to have good reads, and the entire matchup is about trying to stop her from getting to that position to begin with. Now, I'm sure we all been through what I just showed you, right? You're about to stun Laura, you're about to end the round. She wakes up with her magical 3 frame, it counter hits you, combo into crouching medium punch, gets the V-trigger activation, couple of mix-ups and you're dead. Happens all the freaking time. So how do you deal with this? First, it's good to understand when is the standing light punch gonna counter hit. If we here have Laura try to wake up with a 3 frame, right? The counter hit is likely to happen if the standing light punch hits as a counter hit, right? This is gonna happen if you fail a meaty on quick rise. Typically what's gonna happen is if you fail a meaty on quick rise, she's gonna hit you counter hit. If you fail a meaty on back rise, she's gonna whiff punish you, and this is not a counter hit. So for the infamous string of standing light punch, crouching medium punch to work, for this to work, the standing light punch have to hit as a counter hit. So what's most important thing to happen is to get the meaty on normal hit or normal recovery correctly. Always go for the quick rise meaty when you know she's in V-trigger, because that's what she's gonna do. She is desperate for that activation, right? So when Laura is in V-trigger, when you're about to kill her, stick to the quick rise meaty, right? Because even if you fail, like let's say I fail my quick rise meaty, I fail this, she's gonna hit me, alright, that's fine. I got hit, but she didn't get the counter hit combo. And if she doesn't get the counter hit combo, even if the standing jab hit me, I'll be able to block the rest, which is way, less risky than going for a meaty on back rise and having to risk getting hit by the whole party. So stick to meeting on quick rise when she's on V-trigger. The second thing I want to talk about is just her basic Vortex mix-ups. So when you get hit by an EX Fireball, Laura can do a couple of normals and resets you. If she does the standing medium kick, she will cross up. So you have to know that this will cross you up. The standing heavy will stay on front. So if she does standing heavy punch, she will stay on front. It is important to know this basic mix-up. Again, very basic, very elementary. I'm sure most people are familiar with that by this point. The second thing I want to talk about is how to avoid her V-trigger activation. We just showed you one of the most common one, and that is Laura waking up with a 3-frame, getting the counter hit and getting the combo. Now, what are her other famous activation? The first one is this, the forward heavy punch, target combo into V-trigger activate. This is very dangerous because if it puts her in a lot of plus frames. She is +3, so what's gonna happen is after it, if I'm standing there and blocking, she's +3, she can command grab me, and if I try to V-reversal this here, she will command grab me. So the way to escape this is twofold. You either make whiff punish it, so she whiffed it, now you get the whiff punish. If you blocked it, you wanna interrupt midway through. You don't wanna interrupt at this point. If you try to V-reversal here, you're getting command grabbed, but you have to V-reversal early, between the first and second hit. This is the window for a safe V-reversal. The same thing can be said about this particular string. Even if she doesn't get it on a counter hit, they might do it on block, because again, it's +12, so it's really good. If you try to V-trigger, V-reversal the fireball activation, again, you can't V-reversal this safely without getting command grabbed. So what you wanna do is you wanna try to V-reversal the crouching medium punch. What you wanna try to V-reversal is this, the crouching medium punch, because then she will not be able to connect with the fireball and you will avoid the V-trigger activation. If she managed to V-trigger activate, good luck with that, because this is a very hard situation to be in. But never V-reversal the activation itself on hit or on block, because you can get command grabbed. Now finally, one thing I wanted to let you know is this particular sequence. Again, very good. When she does the EX Fireball into the command dash in V-trigger, she is +4. So as you see, she is +4. If you try to V-reversal here, again, she will be able to block and then you will get punished. So you want to V-reversal the standing heavy punch itself. Don't try to V-reversal the fireball, because this is gonna happen. So an early V-reversal to the standing heavy punch itself is the best way. Once she initiated the command dash like that, you cannot V-reversal, and you can just block this, but it is pretty risky, admittedly, because she is at +4 advantage, so she can command grab you or continue her pressure. The fireball will soon follow, and then she get an extended sequence and all of that. Overall, Laura is a very tricky character to fight, honestly. She's not an easy character to fight, but she is kinda lacking in terms of defense, so if you get the knockdown on her, you can pressure her and try to make the most out of it. It's a hard fight, but if you're aware of your options, where you should interrupt, where you should V-reversal, when you should backdash and all of that, your chances of surviving against Laura should increase by a good margin. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It all really helps. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.